Yes.
I'm Suresh. I'm a mechanical engineer. I did my BTech from IIIT Basa. IIIT Basa. So my question is, there is growing inequalities in the world, like as well as in India. How to address them?
What do you think?
Do not have any practical solution.
Anybody else? Growing inequality in the world, how do you address it? He wanted me to solve global problems overnight.
As well as in India.
I'm just joking. What do you think?
My opinion, one would be the wealth tax or super rich tax can be taken from the rich and can be spent on the
Young lady, you. What do you think?
Discrimination should be like minimal in the society.
What do you mean by that?
Like inequality can be in different phases, be it in gender, class, caste. So these discriminations will lead to a lot of problems. So the discrimination need to be decreased in order to be the equal society.
Sir, the funding should be more on social infrastructure like education, health, and skill development and training, so that it will create opportunities for all the people equally, sir. For example, we are having already progressive taxation, so we are taxing more on the wealth people, but that doesn't mean that it will create equality, because that extra income that we are taxing the wealth people should be used to provide equal opportunities for all the people, especially for the vulnerable section of the people. These three social.
You're right. First of all, this debate of inequality is a relic of the old socialism. You have two options. One, in the quest for equality, kill economic incentive, innovation, and ensure everybody is relatively poor. That was tried in much of the world, including in India. Were we happy? There was a time when Indian income tax was 97.75%. You know that? In the year 1973-74, our income tax for the high income meaning over 2 lakh rupees annual income at that time, was 97.75%, 85% tax, and 15% surcharge and tax. What is 15% of 85%? 12.75%. Did it work? You guaranteed everybody is poor and black money was rampant, and the fellows in government was thoroughly corrupt. Much of India's destruction happened because of those policies. So it's not so much inequality that matters. Is the tide rising? Is everybody getting a better life compared to yesterday? That is a more important yardstick than whether there is an arithmetic equality or inequality. Therefore, second, what is the government's role? The point he made. The government's moral and practical purpose is, apart from other things, rule of law, etc., create opportunity for everybody irrespective of birth. That my father or mother is a crorepati should not give me an additional advantage in terms of opportunity to rise in life. I may inherit the property, that nobody can stop, given the social structure. None of us want any change in that. But irrespective of my parentage, irrespective of my birth and income and caste, if my intelligence is allowed to flower, if I get opportunities to rise, if I can compete with anybody, in a growing economy, inequality by birth does not matter. We have spectacularly failed there. That's why we talked a bit about education. Our education is a disaster. The tools that the government has to promote equality of opportunity, not equality of outcomes. Education and healthcare, both are abysmal in India. India is among the absolute worst in the world. So how do I guarantee quality education not so-called free education alone. Everybody is officially supposed to get free education. That's not the issue. Real quality education without a burden in the pocket, irrespective of birth. How do we ensure quality health care without any burden in the pocket? Because without that, there's no productivity, there's no quality of life. Third, finally, the government's job, therefore, is to, after creating opportunities, create conditions for economic growth, particularly in a poor country, so that overall incomes rise and opportunities grow and people get employment opportunities with decent wages. And those who require help, either because of old age or indigent or some special circumstances, a reasonable social security net. But subject to the discussion we had earlier, with certain boundaries. You cannot, in the name of reasonable social security net, burden the next generation to please the current generation. That is a practical approach. So much of the discussion on the so-called inequalities is actually very skewed. It appears very nice. It assumes the world is static. We are not in a feudal world where your wealth is dependent on the property you inherited. Take the biggest companies in the world. Almost none of them existed 20 years ago. So what does it mean? There's a dynamic process. Innovation, technological change, market conditions. These are creating a circulation of these elites. And overall, the world is getting better. Therefore, we're getting the mobile phones, we're getting the internet, we're getting 100 other things we never got.
Communications.
So in this discussion, this is not taken into account. We are saying Bill Gates has money. I don't have. Naturally, of course, if you have money, I don't have, I will be envious. That is human, right? Between brother and brother, if somebody has money, other fellow doesn't have, it's normal, now you compare. Provoking that is the easy thing. But is my life much better than it was? Am I getting the benefits or not? It doesn't matter. Bill Gates is not going to put all that money in mausoleum. He's only going to invest somewhere and doing something. It doesn't matter whose name it is. But is it generating wealth, true wealth? True wealth meaning creating goods and services for our needs, improving our quality of life. So we must relook at this whole debate, this Pickering and others talking about inequality and, oh my God, Satyanash Varahahai. It's a very fashionable debate, at least 30, 40 years ago. But much of it has no serious relevance, nor do they have serious answers. And if you go for taxation, like wealth tax, etc., experience showed us oftentimes the cost of collection of the tax is greater than the benefit that might accrue. And sometimes it's creating a disincentive. Like I told you, 1970s income tax. So it's all nice, all of us naturally want to be socialist. But true socialism is quality education, quality healthcare, equality of opportunity and rule of law, not equality of money. Because no matter how equal the money is, you find in any family, can you say with certainty that all brothers and sisters who inherit equal property from parents are all equally placed in life? That's human. Your inclination, your talent, your willingness to work hard, and 100 other things play a role in life. And if they don't play a role, there's no incentive to do anything at all. Why is there an incentive? If you work hard, if you think hard, and if you get into, let's say, services or into business or in a reputed organization, you get good wages, you are reputed, you rise. And another fellow who is your classmate, came from similar circumstances, doesn't want to put in that investment, doesn't care, doesn't want it. How can you both be equal? Is it humanly possible? Is it in the interest of society at large? You get it? So, reimagine the notion of equality. It's about equality of opportunity, not equality of outcomes.
Like and subscribe Eagle Media Works.